Here.
Commissioner Tedesco, Commissioner Sewell,
Here.
Commissioner Coles,
Present.
Commissioner Britton,
Here.
Plinsky,
Here.
Vice Chair Walowski,
Here.
and Chair Hammersley.
Hammersley's here. I did hear from Commissioners Ma, Gaida, and Tedesco. They're not going to be able to make it tonight. We will see Commissioner Keard and Commissioner Tedesco's spot. With that, we have a quorum. If we can all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
Allegiance to the
flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
Can all remain standing for a moment of silent reflection, please? All right, thank you. All right, looking for a motion to approve our minutes from our last meeting on December 3rd, 2024. Commissioner Walowski,
So moved.
do we have a second?
Second.
A second, is there any discussion? Seeing no discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to item number 7, Commissioner discussion. Is there any subcommittee reports? Anything? No? Chairman comments. I'm not going to read the prelude. The people who are here know what it is, so just, you know, how we operate, right? So anyways, we have nothing under item number 9. No public hearing is scheduled. Under item number 10, proposed zoning text amendment for revisions to section 4 of the zoning regulations special zones. The proposal includes adding section 4I titled Special Design Mixed Use Zone to provide retail, service, residential, and professional office uses in locations close to limited access highways or arterial roads in a manner which ensures public safety and compatibility with surrounding uses. This is Zone Amendment 618. Do we have a motion? Commissioner Sewell, do you want to make a motion? Jamie?
I'm going to make a motion to approve ZA 618.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Commissioner Coles with a second. Is there any discussion? Anyone? Okay. I'll just say a couple of things. First, we need an effective date on this. I propose that we make that effective date February 1, 2025. Is that amenable to the maker of the motion?
Sure.
To the seconder? Everyone good? Dave, you good with that?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, so we have a motion to approve. I'll just say, I want to start by saying and thanking Sev and Peter for bringing this one forward. I think that you guys recognized an issue in certain areas in our town and did a good job of putting this together and creating a creative solution to an issue that in those parts of towns have been a couple decades where they haven't had any, what I'll say is lived up to the potential of those properties. And I look forward to hopefully having some economic development occur in those areas of town. And I really am excited about it. I really am appreciative of it. I tell everybody on the commission that we're all parts, bring to this commission our backgrounds, our professional backgrounds, our personal backgrounds and experiences, and that's the value and the diversity that I appreciate up here. My background, for anyone who doesn't know it, is 30 years in the development, well, I call it the AEC community, which stands for Architectural Engineering and Construction Business. I did that for 30 years. I sat where Sev sits. I've sat where Steve sits. I've sat where virtually any developer who comes up here and talks. I did that for 30 years. I made a living out of that. I have a pretty good understanding of how that works. I've worked on $100 million projects, state, federal, county, local, throughout the East Coast and Puerto Rico. So I have a pretty good understanding of that. By virtue of that, some of the questions that I might ask, you might think are a little bit tough, if you will. And I do that just to get the information that I'd like to have in order to make an informed decision, as well as to provide that information to the people up here. I think that based on the information and the responses that I got from Sev and from Peter, which I appreciate, they were very, very well done and very well thought out. I appreciate the fact that you came back and revised the original proposal, which I think had some significant gaps in it, but you tightened that up, which I appreciate. And I think that you guys did a really good job of fielding those questions. I think the members of the commission, and I commend every member up here, and even those who aren't able to make it tonight, as being people who have brought up some pretty relevant issues, and members of the public who brought up some pretty good issues and perspectives, as always. And I think that that adds to our ability to make an informed decision, as always. And I really do appreciate the public participation on this one, as well as the fact that this is brought forward. I look forward to seeing what happens here. I hope that I'm here, both maybe sitting in this seat on this commission still, maybe somewhere else, at least in this town. I hope I'm here to see this come to fruition and to see those areas of town flourish the way that I think that they can and that they should, and that I'd like to see it, and see the economic growth that we all hope to infuse throughout our town. And with that, can we get a roll call, please, Dave?
Commissioner Eric Coles?
Yes.
Commissioner Britton?
Yes.
Commissioner Sewell?
Yes.
Commissioner Caird?
Yes.
Commissioner Kaplinski?
Yes.
Commissioner Walowski?
Yes.
And Chair Hammersley.
Hammers is a yes. Motion carries 7-0. Congratulations and thank you very much. Item 10B, Raylex LLC, site plan application for proposed 9,000 square foot accessory building for storage, property located at 702 Curtis Street, zone in an I2, SPR 1892. The floor is yours, Mr. Judas.
Good evening, Mr. Chair and Commission members. For the record, Stephen Judas with Cole Civil and Survey, 876 South Main Street, Plantsville. Just trying to make sure I am opening the proper plan here. The subject parcel is at 702 Curtis Street. This was formerly the Blastech parcel, owned by Andy Nagy. Andy has sold the Blastech business, but he's maintained the property. And I don't know if everyone's familiar with Blastech. They blew things up. So when this application came in, originally it was kind of controversial, you know, having blasting materials on site and things like that. But it was a perfect location for it. It was away from any residential neighborhoods. It was an I2 zone. And it was kind of isolated with wetlands and topography and things like that. Since that time, Andy's kind of retired from that. He's sold Blastech, but he's maintained the property, and he's looking to try to redevelop, reuse the property, and he's kind of looking at expanding. We had a lot of outside storage on this site originally, and we're proposing a new building, a 9,000 square foot building that's shown in that dark square. And really, it's basically similar to what you've seen before. It's a flex space. It'll have a series of overhead doors and man doors, and then users will be able to. I have a sample view. This is half the size of the building. This is one that we had presented previously with a man door. And basically, what will happen is you'll have users come in and either take one space or two spaces or three spaces, and then build a partition wall and use the space that they need. Sometimes we'll call them incubator spaces and things like that. But we're not proposing any services in the building. There's no sewer, no water. It'll just be electrical service for electricity, and there will be no heat with cold storage at this point. And it's being constructed for the most part over existing processed stone. However, the building's kind of built into the slope. The topography raises. So the back wall of this building will actually be a retaining wall. It'll be built into the grade. So the front doors will be at grade, and the back of the building will be almost at the roof height. In order to compensate for the minor increase in stormwater runoff, there's an existing detention basin, and we're proposing to just do a little modification to this basin and tie our roof leaders into this basin and to manage our stormwater. We did receive comments from staff. It took nothing earth-shattering. We kind of went through and addressed those comments. I think Jim and I spoke at the end of the day. There's one additional thing that I thought we addressed in the plan that we didn't, so I promised him we would get those notes onto the plan. But he can comment on that if he'd like. His plan next would be to come back in the future to try to go. There's a New Britain Water Department easement that traverses the property, and he's going to propose. There's an existing driveway that goes off, through that water easement and future development, more buildings and things like that in the back. So Andy's kind of just getting his feet wet with the first building and see how things go, and hopefully in a couple of years, we'll be back for more on this site. So, any questions for me on this application?
Thanks, Steve. Any questions from members of the commission? Caleb?
Hi,
Hey,
welcome back.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Okay, I got a couple. So, fire department asked, depending on the storage, so we don't know what the storage is gonna be.
Not at this point, no.
So right now, until there's a tenant that wants to take it, I guess my question is this: if a tenant goes in there or you have 2 or 3 tenants that are gonna go into each of the bays, is there then the ability to retrofit the building with sprinklers?
Yeah, it's open. It's an open structure right now. So typically, I don't see any uses that would require sprinklers, and the partitions would keep us under the square footage required for sprinklers. So I don't anticipate that being an issue. If we had a user come in and wanted to use the whole space and then wanted to store a certain type of vehicles or things like that, then we'd have to explore that.
Okay, so you don't, when I saw the garage doors, the first thing I thought was they're gonna put job trucks in there, and that was be like gas
They
storage.
might, and you can do that, but you have to partition the spaces down. I think, I'm not an architect, but I believe it's under 5,000 square feet, I think is the threshold. So as long as we're under that threshold, I do not believe that the building will require sprinklers.
Okay. I had 3 questions and I forgot 2 of them. So, the second one was, with respect to the health department's comments, there's no utilities or facilities or anything in that building. So, if someone on the site, are they gonna have access to the existing structure to use the facilities?
We don't see this as being someone working in this building. You know, they're either gonna park their stuff there and they're gonna pick it up and leave and come back. So I think that, I don't think Andy's anticipating installing restrooms and things like that.
So this has, not to cut you off, but just so I get it in my head, this has nothing to do with the main structure there? It's completely a separate entity?
No, I mean, his idea is to do the same thing with the main structure, and there are facilities, and I guess there are facilities in the main structure, I just don't know, we don't know, we're kind of speculative at this point as to, you know, who's gonna wanna use it and what their use is gonna be. So if we had to do that, if someone needed facilities, there are facilities in the building that could be used.
That being said, if then there is the use that people are gonna then go to the main building, is the existing subsurface sewage disposal system gonna be acceptable for additional, but we don't really,
There's no one in there's no one in the
know
building right now, so, the Blastech was a pretty sizable company when they were there, and the system was designed for that, the first floor, that building's 2 stories, actually. They actually never even utilized the second floor of that building. It was always completely vacant, so the system's, I think, oversized for what we have on the site right now.
okay.
Mr. Chairman, if I may.
Wait, Caleb?
Yeah,
Number 3.
yeah, I think you answered the first one. It was about the detention, the runoff, the additional 9,000 square feet. And so that existing detention basin is gonna be expanded to accept the additional space.
Yep,
Got
just
it.
slightly. It's not a huge increase in runoff, but yes, that's how we're gonna handle it.
Okay. That was my 3 questions.
I think Dave might have some insight.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, just depending on the individual uses, they'd likely come before us for zoning permits, and then we check that with health in terms of capacity and all that, so.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, as long as there's eyes on it.
And I think that would go to fire as well at that point, so. It is, it is somewhat speculative on his part, it's taken him a long time to get to this point. But again, his idea is just more or less storage, yeah.
I think this is gonna be utilized quickly. People are gonna grab onto it.
They are, there's a lot of them, yeah. They're popping up all over the place, so.
Yeah, it's a need. Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, you all set?
Yep.
Commissioner Woloski?
Just to piggyback on what David had brought up, so you're talking about just passive storage. In the event that somebody wanted to run their business, is that conducive where you would put in bathrooms with plumbing and with that? Or,
We could do that if necessary, absolutely.
so that would be something we'd see further down the road?
I think if someone wanted to do that, they would go into the main building, because the main building is vacant right now, the first and second floor, and that already has water and sewer availability. So if someone needed that, that's where they would
So it
end
wouldn't
up.
be individual units per se?
In the main building? You're saying if someone wanted to run a business in the proposed building?
Correct.
And what I'm saying is that's not really the intent.
Okay.
It's more if we have a user that wants that, we would push them into the
Okay,
front building.
all right. Very good. Thank you.
You all set? Any other questions from members of the commission?
It's more of a peripheral question, Steve.
go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry, Bob.
No, go ahead.
Okay. So just looking at it from a visual perspective that you showed there, is this similar to the Smorin property? Because I know oftentimes I see that when I drive by, like on my way home from work, and I see that type of structure there, and you said there's many of these around. So just, like I said, just to have a comparison.
The Smorin one is very tall. It has a pretty high roof line. I don't anticipate this to be that large. I want to say, usually you have a 14-foot door, so you're probably looking at an 18 to 20-foot height, where the Smorin one is used for furniture storage and things like that. So it's similar to that, but not as tall.
Got it.
And it's relatively narrow. It's only, I think we have 30 feet in depth from front to back. So it's actually smaller than some of the ones that you've already approved. You approved one on Summer Street and one on Mastriani for Reinhardt. Those are more like in the 50 to 60 foot deep. You can park a triaxle in those, where this one it's much smaller.
Got it. Okay, thanks.
You all set?
All good?
Okay. Anyone else? We're going to ask staff if all your questions been responded to your satisfaction.
As far as engineering, yes, it's ready for action, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, same with
Is there
planning.
any need, in your opinion, to put any stipulations on this to make sure that they work with you all on any outstanding items, or are we pretty clean right now?
Oh, we're clean, yep.
I mean, building department, when you build, obviously, they're going to weigh in on things. They got things boxes they need to check, if you will, so,
Oh, yes, they do.
yeah, I know.
That'll be another year.
For better or worse, it is the process, so. Anything else, Steve?
That's it. Just appreciate your time and consideration tonight. And it's the first meeting of the new year.
Yeah, okay, I'm looking for a motion on this one.
Make a
Commissioner
motion
Woloski?
that we approve SPR 1892.
Second.
Is that you, Jamie?
Yes, please.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion on this? Seeing none, can we get a roll, please?
Commissioner Coles?
Yes.
Commissioner Britton?
Yes.
Sewell?
Yes.
Commissioner Caird?
Yes.
Alinsky?
Yes.
Commissioner Wowski?
Yes.
Chair Hammersley?
Hammer says yes, 7-0. Congratulations, best of luck
Thank
to
you
you.
very much.
Yeah.
Have a good evening.
Item 10C, release of an erosion and sedimentation bond in the amount of $10,200, Southington West Street LLC. This is a learning experience. Property located at 1268 West Street. This is SPR 1857.1. Mr. Grappone, is it ready for action?
Ready for action, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Can we get a motion on this? Commissioner Woloski?
Motion to approve SPR 1857.1.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Commissioner Chaplinsky with a second. Any discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 10D, release of an erosion and sedimentation bond in the amount of $5,700, Buck LLC, property located at 50 Mastriani Place, SPR 1823.2. Mr. Graponis is ready for action?
Ready for action?
Okay, any discussion? Could we get a motion on this? Commissioner Woloski?
I'll make a motion to approve SPR 1823.2.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Commissioner Britton with a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 11, under administrative items, we have nothing. Under item 12, receipt of new applications, we have a pretty robust list under there. Anything there, Dave, that you want to call out, or any questions from any members of the commission?
I don't have any.
Okay, I'll just say with regards to the one on Bristol Trust LLC site plan modification, that's on 10 Corporate Drive. That's the Pepsi facility out there that they're proposing, from what I understand, to be roughly about a 60 to 65,000 square foot warehouse out in that area. So it'll be good to see that property getting put back into use to some extent. That's not the entire property, it is a portion of it though, so we'll look for those applications to come forward. Pending that, I wish everybody a happy new year, and I'll look for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Who made the motion? Britton, second by Coles. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thanks, guys.